You start. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. Again, apologize for being a little late. We have two projects tonight. HARB 2014-26 is 221 South Wayne Avenue. Small bay addition at front of house and second floor addition over existing first floor areas. Is someone here to propose this? Hello, Ann.
Yeah, can you use the mic?
Oh, yes.
Or would you want the smaller one? Either
Yeah,
one.
this one, let's see if this works.
Your choice.
There we go. Thanks.
My name is Ann Ledger. I'm the architect for the Leapers, who are the owners of the house. I'm going to put the photographs out here. This house was originally the stable for the original house that stood where the apartments are on the corner of South Wayne and Windermere, across from the middle school. So to the left of the house is the apartment building. Behind the house are the tennis courts. And the house to the right is this one right here, just to give you some context. It was built in 1870. The current owners moved in 2000 and have done renovations here and there, but have not changed the footprint of the building. You can see on the site plan the footprint of the building and the existing garage. The hatched area right here is going to be the second floor addition, and all we're adding is this little bay on the front, which you can. You can see a drawing of it in the front elevation. It's just this little bay, and it sticks out about 3 feet. The second floor addition then will be this little piece here and the piece over this existing one-story. It's hard to get a picture of this house because there's so
part
much
that's the flat
landscaping.
roof right now?
Pardon me?
Is that the piece that's going off to the left on the front elevation? Is that over the flat roof that exists right now?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it has fiber cement shingles. That's this picture right here. Is this little bay window?
Was that in addition to the house, do you think?
Do you know? No, that was original to the house.
I'm sorry,
The living room is the whole footprint was original.
Huh.
There's a little tiny basement only under that room and extends down the front of the house, but the whole rest of the house is on slab. We're proposing to do the same finish, the same fiber cement, cedar shingles on all of the addition. So everything you see here on the elevation drawing, some of it looks like this horizontal siding, but it's actually going to be the shingle siding. The second floor space up here and up here will be, this is storage, it's really not much space. This will be a little home office. There are currently 2 bedrooms on the first floor and 1 little bedroom on the second floor. We're going to, the Leapers did replace all the windows when they moved in, so we're going to stay in the same flavor of windows, the divided light. Not sure what brand, but there'll be a simulated divided light windows. All the windows are Marvin SDL windows.
So the entrance to the house now is the left side elevation?
Correct,
Is right?
that little, yeah, so you do have a photograph. This is the photograph of the front entrance right now. This room is just a little sunroom, with the long casement windows and the door. So the front entrance will then look like this. It's going to, we're going to put transom windows in. We have a higher ceiling in this room with some kind of a little porch hood over the front door. But we're going to make it more front door-y looking than just the full light door.
So,
Do you think that was a porch at one time where the sunroom is?
I don't know. Do you think so, Janine?
I think it could have been, yes.
Okay. There's no basement under. It's just a slab on grade. So it may have been a porch that was enclosed. There is a little tiny attic space over it. You can see in this photograph here.
so
And it's just mechanicals right now.
was the window perpendicular to the front entrance? That looks like it was, was
This
that an
one?
addition? Or was that a?
This window here?
No, go down. In the picture, it's perpendicular.
This one?
Yes, yeah.
That's, that was added.
Yeah.
The little bay was added, but that room was existing. And it currently has a flat roof on it. So we're going to take advantage of that square footage on the second floor.
And the front of, in the photographs, the front of the building is which one?
It would be, this is the front view right here, the west elevation. It's facing South Wade Avenue. It's hard to stand back and take a picture of the house because there's so much foliage around the house. This is the front view here.
Okay, I see.
So we're taking this little roof off, and we're just going to bump it up and go up to the existing ridge height.
Right. Right,
Can you see where the flat roof is on
yeah.
the other northwest elevation? You can
Yeah.
see this extent of the flat roof now.
Yep, yep. So basically what you're doing is you're changing something that already had been changed. I mean, or filled in or whatever, this front porch or whatever it was.
We're just going to rebuild the walls and put new window openings in. We're not going to change the foundation. We'll
Right.
use existing foundation and just bump out for this little bay here.
Right, right.
They're going to use it more as a sitting room. Right now, it's just a hallway. It's just like a big entry hall. So they're going to make it more useful space inside. So the bay will provide a little seating area in the front and still give you room to have an entry point.
And so the chimney would be raised up to accommodate that roof line as well in stone?
The chimney currently,
Or is it high enough?
I think it is high enough. I mean,
Okay. It looks pretty high in that picture, but it's hard to tell.
it's hard to, it is hard to tell. But we would raise it up according to whatever the code requirement is.
Okay. Well, I think, when you look at it in plan for the site plan, you've got, you're not increasing a footprint, which is great. But, the way the house is now, it's kind of this meandering thing that has this lower, kind of bent hip that goes around the backside.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's kind of low except for that little front gable, or the two gables in the front. But I think when you do this to it, it sort of makes the massing of it feel much better for its siting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all in keeping with what is there in terms of the scale and the pitches of the roofs and the materials. I like the idea that you're taking the stucco off of the second level and having a little more detail.
We're going to get rid of all the stucco. There's a little stucco on the, everywhere there's stucco, I think we're going to take off and put siding on. Is that right? Okay.
And this is there's that stone wall that goes along the road right there, so you're back in, if you were to stand at the road, it'd be
Right, you
hard to
would see it.
be hard to see this house.
I stood on their driveway and took this photograph, so it's really, you do have to pull in the driveway. You can't really see it from the street.
Well, I think this helps it be visible from the street in a good way.
Hope so.
So,
yeah.
So that's a good thing, and I think it's also giving it, a better life too, in its new life, that it's had, and in its different progressions.
150 years. from
Yeah.
now.
I
Stable.
also think that, you're not destroying the original fabric or historic material per se. And I think the scale, by putting the windows in, the new windows with the transoms above and raising the roof, it really, really helps the scale of the whole house.
Well, we were trying to make the entry point a little bit more important looking, and also give them a little bit more storage on the second floor, so it sort of was an appropriate solution.
I think it's a nice, I think it's a nice change.
Yeah.
It's really
No,
sensitive.
it's, the inventories we have for, whether these are contributing or non-contributing are so old now. They were done in 85 or 91, or depending on whether you're North or South Wayne Avenue, or South Wayne. And, properties like this that have a history that you know about, but doesn't show up on the basic inventory that we have, makes me say that we need to do another one. And I don't know what that process is, and I don't know whether we can get that going, but, I know the Historical Society does a great job of having all these things in their back pocket. I didn't call Greg Pritchard up or anybody there just to find out, but, he would probably say, oh, yeah, that's the thing from whatever. He just
You
knows
would
all
know.
that
Yeah.
stuff.
You would know, right.
But I appreciate your looking into that and finding out that it was, it had this life of a carriage house. And, you can tell from the shapes that's it's got that vernacular in it. So,
It's really nice.
and the scale of a carriage house is like the big house, but it's all miniaturized. It's almost, I love the scale of carriage houses, and you've done,
Right.
what you've done has enhanced that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very successful, kind of elevating of the flat structure, which, sometimes they had those flat structures just as carriage, kind of like porte-cochere pieces. And then you went through and went on to the main house,
The
It could be
basement-
original.
Oh, that was
room.
that was a carriage entrance.
Well, it was
That's-
it
that
was a
it.
stable.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I don't even know if there was room for a carriage, but,
Oh, yeah.
and there was a little living quarters upstairs when the roofs were all lower, because there's an original stair, but there is a basement under this piece, this little gable here. That's the only basement.
But that was your entrance right there with a porch over it, so you
Maybe,
can
yeah, maybe.
take the horses,
Mm-hmm.
hose them down the whole 9 yards, and the carriages. And
Well, the owners have been good stewards of the house, and they've learned about the history a little bit, so I think they're trying to preserve that.
I think it's a great project.
I do too, I like
Yeah.
it. It really, I think it'll really fit in the neighborhood.
Good.
And the massing and everything. From the large massing to the smaller with the windows and the shingles, I think it really works.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
No.
Make a motion.
Recommend approval of, for COA.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
Thank you.
And the only comment I'm going to say, and this is not a negative comment at all, is that I love the presentation that you give, which is the elevations are all as one. There's not a shaded portion that shows this is new and this is old, because then that takes your eye away from how it connects.
Oh,
Or you have these
interesting.
big,
Oh,
kind of dotted
yeah.
lines around things. But I would say, in the future, if you could take this exact set of elevations and just copy it, and then do a dotted line to show what's existing and what's new. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's just, I could read what was going on by what you gave here, but I think it'd be clearer for an audience or anybody else if we had that kind of information. And it's pretty simple to do.
Not a drawing of it. with-
No, just
no,
take
no,
this
it's
exact
proposed.
one and say, this piece is
Oh,
new.
just- okay.
Highlight it, or however
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But the
understand.
idea that it's just drawn as one, I think is really effective in that you can see it as one.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you were to shade something dark or, highlight it now.
Right, I
you-
understand.
You wouldn't be able to read it the same
Right.
way, So I like this, but I'd also like to have the other one.
I think you really need to see the pictures with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To put it into context, so that's.
Exactly. So that was
that's
my only
helpful.
comment about the presentation part.
Okay,
I
well, I'll
just-
keep that in mind for next time, thank you.
All right, thanks, Ann. All right. All right, number 2, we have HARP 2014-27, 224 Lansdowne Avenue. Improve and reconstruct garage with a second-floor home office and improve current family room pool area or room at the rear. And, yeah. Now, one thing I noticed is that you have two plans that have, one has interior plan views. We don't need any of that, just use the elevations. And, pardon me? There's a little
Is there a
switch on.
little button down there?
I probably didn't turn it on for you, sorry.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
The, anyhow, there's a site plan which we were going to want to look at, and then the
Yes.
elevations.
Right.
But just put the plans aside,
Okay, got it.
okay? And just introduce yourself, and you've been here, done this, bef- just introduce yourself and the project. Thank you.
My name's Martha Wheaton Robertson, MWR Designs LLC. And I'm working for the Pabani family, Akbar and Naz. And they purchased a house that is over 100 years old. It's a resale, obviously. And here it is. And the garage that's on the premises was obviously built in the 50s or 60s. And it was cinder block with a roof that's caving in and cinder block walls that have cracks big enough to see daylight. So the whole thing is faltering. It was built in 2 stages. Here's the site plan first. Okay, now, and they bought it with the intention, bought the property with the intention of improving it because there's a pool that was put in the backyard, lovely pool, and the previous owners had taken this dilapidated garage and put on this ugly thing on the back that was supposed to be a pool house for the pool.
Is that the flat rectangle on the back?
Yes, that's the
Okay.
flat rectangle on the back.
Okay.
And so the intention was to just renovate the whole space. Mr. Pabani needs a home office, large home office, lots of files and desk space. And then the kids wanted a pool house. So we want to convert this into garage on the first floor, in the front, the rear part being the pool house area, and then upstairs be a office and rec area so that they can have parties. And they also needed to put a bathroom in, but the problem is putting a bathroom in existing slabs, so we had to go upstairs to put the bathroom in. So anyone using the pool goes upstairs to use the bathroom. Now, this is across the street. This is the house beside. Okay, this is the house, and you can see it's kind of a Dutch, somewhat Dutch colonial. I'm not sure how you categorize this. It's the only house that really looks like that in all of Wayne area that I can find. The house across the street, this one, has similar lines, and that was remodeled recently. He's directly across the street. The house beside them is a gambrel, so that doesn't relate at all to their house. Can you see that? Gambrel roof. There's another house down the street which is similar to their house. And another 219 Lansdowne Avenue has some of the same lines, but it's Tudor. So this is really a unique house for the neighborhood. And this is the existing garage with the roof that's caving in, this was just parging on raw cinder block. And then the back part, you can see this little square box that they added across the back. So what we'd like to do, what he wants to do, is take, and we did get permission from zoning, I think it was you, I called up and said if we did have a non-conforming line, we could extend that, not go beyond that, extend that. So we are using both extents of this existing structure as the footprint for the new structure, the rebuilt structure. That gives them more space in the garage, and it simplifies the design considerably. We could, then I could make it look more like a carriage house that was always there. I don't know what was there originally. I'm sure Greg Pritchard would have the archives on that.
Yeah, he may call us any minute. But, obviously, if it's concrete block and the construction it was, done quite a bit later.
Right, exactly.
So whatever was there, it may not have been, that site's kind of, where's the site plan? Give that up, oh, there it is. Well, no, it's, typically, any kind of a garage is a little bit further back in the property, almost on the back line and the sideline, so it may have been, taken down to do the pool, and then somebody put that in later, or, who knows?
Yeah, right.
But anyhow, it's not an original structure, but the scale of it is kind of a 2-car scale, which is, appropriate for this size lot. And, going back to a gable roof, or a cross gable, in this case, I think adds a whole lot to, what you're doing back there. I mean, the main house is considered, according to the inventory, as an arts and crafts house.
Is that what, okay.
But I think it's, it's probably, do you know what the stucco is on top of, or do you know if that was redone?
On the main
or-
house?
Yeah,
It is on top of, it's real stucco on lath.
okay.
And there's some issues with that failing. And he knows that in the future, they plan to do something to remediate the stucco or replace it with a siding, with a cement board siding.
Yeah, I was going to suggest to make it go back into the craftsman style a bit more,
Exactly.
you'd go that way, and that would
Right.
be.
It already has the shake style
Mhm.
shingles up here. And we were thinking of doing a clapboard style down below and leaving the shakes up in the gable areas.
That'd be great.
And then I would do the same to the garage. Now, down the street, around the corner at 305 Audubon Avenue, Wayne, we located what looks to be an old carriage house that was converted into a garage. That's the closest thing we could find in the neighborhood to what we propose.
And that's a much larger structure, too.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let me go to the,
And this is, at the end of the driveway, kind of offset by the house.
exactly.
So you're going to get a glimpse of it, which is going to be a nice glimpse, but the impact of it is limited by its view. But I think, I don't think it's the scale of it's beyond what the main house is large.
The main house is very large.
So, I think it doesn't, overdo that.
The roof line is considerable on this main house. Up in the attic, the ceilings are almost 8.5 feet. So this thing really has quite a bit of height to it.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is maintaining the 20-foot mean height line using this main roof system, and half of that from grade up, using a craftsman-style structure, main roof system, with a reverse gable, front and back. Again, using the same shake shingles that are on the original house, and then clapboard siding below. It'll be cement board. Having some little stone element with a little water table cap, which is present on the existing house. You can see.
Oh, yeah. on the
back
side.
there, yep.
The side, you can really see.
Yeah, I
Yep.
like that little detail.
Yep. So I'm copying that.
And you've also
Um,
got the return pent roof detail,
Yes, exactly.
so that's good.
And then, of course, in the back, which is what the pool house, we've got the big French doors, but you don't see that from the front.
I would like to rent this office.
If you cited this properly and made some minor additions, this would have made a really nice house in Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
This is
really
bigger than
like an
my
infill.
house in Wayne. So that's why I'm,
It really is. Really, it's just got a really cozy feeling to it.
it's going to be wonderful.
It does.
Yeah.
It's nice, and it still it retains the feeling of the carriage house.
Yeah. Nice office, though.
Now, there was two options for me in the front elevation. And one was, there's a triple window here in the front of the house. One option, it would be a triple window in lieu of the double with no shutters. And I chose the shutters, but could they substitute a triple window there? Copying the front of the house in lieu of the double window with shutters, or not?
I think the scale of this looks appropriate.
Okay.
If you triple it up, it's going to get wider,
Right,
and then the shutters don't mean anything at all at that point,
I know.
and everything gets more long.
Well, I would delete the shutters.
Okay.
If we did the
Well,
triple window.
I think that's a good feature.
Okay,
Because that's
got
on the
it.
house, and then you have that. That's the thing you're looking at.
Right, and then the garage doors are going to be a clopay, one of the carriage house style doors.
I have to say, I wouldn't mind if you did the triple window, because the way the shutters are drawn right now, they don't look like they would be wide enough to be operable anyway. I don't know if
Correct.
that's just the drawing, or if.
No, you're right,
they're not.
yes.
And I frankly would prefer something, I think having the triple windows would actually be a nice feature, because you wouldn't have the shutters.
That's right,
And the triple window still has scale, and it relates to the door below it.
exactly, okay.
So, my feeling is, I think I would prefer to see that rather than.
Okay, good.
Rather than the.
The homeowner would like
don't
more
work.
light in there.
Are you talking the front?
Front
On the
window,
front.
this window,
Over the garage doors?
yes,
Yeah.
And I think that's fine, too.
Okay,
I think
okay,
either
good.
way, I think
right.
I generally like to have shutters that are real,
Or at
Yeah.
least the right proportion.
or the right proportion.
Well, that's
And they
true.
would be so big if you made them the right proportion for a double,
That's
Yeah.
right,
that
yes.
it wouldn't work, so.
Yeah, I think if you put in a triple window, it
And
would
would-
actually take up
Less
less
space.
space than if
Right,
you were
and
to
then
have
we'll
the shutters the
we'll
right
match the
way.
trim. The trim will, of course, match the house. Now, in terms of color, I want to bring up something important.
We don't get involved with that.
Okay, good, because
Okay.
the owner wants to go to earth tones. Again, typical Craftsman, but this coloring, and we're going to use the same color.
Yeah, we don't get into that.
Okay,
That's entirely up to you.
okay.
If the neighbors yell at you, that's their problem. But-
And then the windows are going to be a simulated divide light window. These are currently the original windows. And then the previous owner put cheap, junky vinyl windows here. But these are all original windows, which are leaking, and when he replaces those, they will match the garage, which will be a simulated divide light, either a Pella or a Marvin.
With the three windows over the garage door, my initial impression was it seemed a little top-heavy with the dormer over the garage door, and if you put in the three windows, it lightens that.
Okay?
I mean, visually, it lightens it.
Right. Right.
Plus
And I-
giving you more light and,
Yeah, I know, I understand, right. I just didn't, I drew it this way thinking, okay, well, I wonder if
Oh,
you're going to
yeah.
want the repeat of the shutters, but,
yeah, I mean, because if you're putting in shutters, unless you have like a double shutter or one each side, it doesn't make any
It's not
sense. People do
authentic, I
this
know.
all the time, but it doesn't.
I know,
And
right?
you may want to consider that on the left side elevation, is lose the shutters on the double up
Yep.
top, and then actually put them on the smaller windows
Yeah.
that are down below.
The
Like, make them
floor
real,
windows.
Oh, that'd be pretty.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And anything can be shuttered, could be done,
Right.
the real
okay.
deal, do it that way.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a nice option. I don't think it's, it wouldn't
Now,
make
on-
or break it at all.
On the,
but-
oh, you can't see from this view. On the side elevation here, these windows they are taken right from that side elevation. You can't see it, but these windows, and they don't have shutters.
I kind of think it's more appropriate without the shutters down there, because
Okay,
usually
right.
they didn't have shutters on the
Yeah.
cabin.
Okay,
Mhm.
But if you put shutters there, it wouldn't make a
right.
It wouldn't
difference. I mean,
detract.
it certainly doesn't change the structure, and if you take it out, they're easily removable and,
Right.
so.
Okay.
I think that's their call, or your
Mhm.
call.
Nice job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
So
Hmm?
I think the motion needs to be made that we approve it, and we also approve the triple.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
so they can do whatever you want.
Okay. Okay, then,
If that's
Yeah.
everything you
Yeah.
have in your head.
Right.
motion to recommend approval of a COA for the structure as shown before us, plus an option to change the double windows over the garage to triple windows.
I would second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, either way.
Thank you.
But I think the
Thank you.
triple was kind of, we went that direction a little bit more. I think you
Right.
like
Great,
that too.
wonderful. Okay.
All right, so good luck
Thank
with
you.
everything.
Thank you.
All right,
Start sawing.
thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks again. It's good seeing you. Any new business for anybody?
I think so. It's John's last night,
My last night.
Yeah, I was going to,
so
Pop the
farewell,
cork.
John.
I'm ready to do it,
yeah. John's been with us how many years now?
as long as everyone. This is number 8,
Number 8,
even though
okay.
it seems like 364.
Yeah,
Remember last year, we got the meeting canceled 3 times or twice?
at least, at least. Those are fond memories.
It was,
John, do you have any parting wisdom to offer us in your,
Start sawing.
start sawing? Okay,
Get those houses
That's
built.
pretty good. And that being said, we do have a new member who's going to start in January if we have any projects. There's a woman by the name of Terry Arney. She works with the Berkshire Hathaway Group, and she's got an extensive background in art history.
oh, Terry Carney?
Yeah,
Very Arnie.
Arney.
Arnie, okay, right.
And she has stepped up to the plate and is going to join us in January.
Good.
And I guess that's a 4-year term for that, is that 4 years?
I think they give
I
you
think
2
I'm
years
the
with
only
good,
5 year.
2 years off with good behavior. Is that what, I think it works that way.
So yeah, we welcome her, and we also thank you, John, for everything you've done.
Yep.
Thank you.
And
It's been a pleasure to being with all you guys.
it has been fun. So anybody in the public would like to comment on anything? You're good? And I'm gonna move, we
Virtual.
adjourn.
Second.
We're done.